Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrapatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. So Arjuna lost his identity and thus lost his right perspective. He lost his identity as a soldier. That identity, who I am. You see the world in a particular perspective, and that perspective depends on what you take yourself to be. Self-knowledge precedes right perspective. Who am I now? That will determine what I think now. And that will determine what I will do now. When we lose awareness of what we are, or in other words, when we lose awareness of what you are, yes, then you lose also the perspective of how you must think. And naturally, action goes wrong. So if you want to put it in a logical order, who am I? That is the foundation. Then from that will come your thinking. So self-understanding, then thinking, then action. And when Arjuna lost this feeling of who I am, how did he lose his feeling of who I am? By wrongly relating himself. Those people who are standing there with bows and arrows, with swords, with maces, he did not see them as warriors. He did not see them as the opposite enemies. And then immediately what happened? Meaning, what way he saw them then? He saw them as relatives. He saw them as bandhus, sambandhinaha. But that's not the way you are supposed to see them now. You've got a duty to do. The nation has fed you, raised you. The country is dependent upon you, and you are standing on those war lines. And there you cannot tell, this is my brother's sister's son is standing there. I will not shoot him. No. He will shoot you. When it is not possible to avoid a war, and when war has become inevitable, then you have to follow the principles of war. A soldier is also an essential part of the society. Like how a fence is also an essential part of a home. You require it. And losing his true self-identity at this point of time as a soldier, by relating himself with all those in front of him as relatives and foreseeing the possibility of their death. Foreseeing the possibility of their death. And immersing himself in that sorrow of that future possibility. Future possibility. In that sorrow. And seeing that sorrow grow in his heart and overpower him, his thinking became clouded. And then he is presenting arguments for avoiding what he should do. And for doing those things what he is not supposed to do. So what has happened? Wrong notion, loss of perspective. Loss of perspective. What is the loss of perspective here? That these are all warriors and I am a soldier. And the right perspective of a soldier is to do his duty. Losing this perspective, getting lost in sorrow, intellect starts misbehaving. So in the arguments that he has presented so far, very forcibly he has presented how I cannot be happy if my relatives are unhappy. If my relatives are not there, what is the use of all these? As though all these is meant for him and his relatives. No king should think like that. It is a trust which the society has given. It is a trust. Power and authority is always a trust the society has given. Nobody owns power and authority forever. And when that power and authority is there in one's hand, one must be very careful. Because this doesn't belong to you. This has been trusted upon you. Trusted, not trusted. Trusted upon you. Trusted on you. The society has trusted you. And therefore execution of duties, for every duty to execute, it requires some power, is it not? And with immense power comes immense responsibilities. Arjuna lost all those perspectives. He says, as though the war is meant for him and his family to be happy. It's a society now. As a king, his duty is to protect his nation, not for enjoyment. So all the arguments which Arjuna presented, even though they are very logical, because they are from the wrong perspective, because the foundation of his argument is wrong, they all fall flat like a pack of cards. They don't have substance, even though they have content. They do not have truth and validity, even though they are presented beautifully. Never be carried away by an argument without finding out what it is based upon. Always ask this question when an argument is presented. What are the premises? Every argument has a premise, a hypothesis. If the hypothesis and premise is wrong, the argument, even though it's nicely constructed, is finally wrong. Argument does not rest on the beauty of its construction, but rather on the strength of its foundation. And therefore, it's wrong. You may say, therefore, tasmat. That tasmat is only your tasmat, not the truth tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. And therefore is a conclusion. At the end of a logical argument, you go a conclusion by saying therefore, so. These are the words you use. After giving an argument, therefore, so. Not before you give an argument, you so. Therefore. Well, Arjuna presented the argument and then gave a therefore, tasmat, narha, vayam. It doesn't behove of us to kill them because they are our friends and relatives. The premise is, you are a relative of them. But that is not the right premise now. The right premise now is, you are a soldier and the nation has bestowed upon you the responsibility to fight the war on its behalf. That's the right premise. Not I am your relative, you are my relative. No. All right. Now the question see, the beauty is that Sri Krishna is never asking him a question. Arjuna is presenting the answer to all possible questions but Sri Krishna could raise. Is it not? Various questions. I don't see. If you think there is some benefit which is going to rise in the future, punya, I don't see. If you think that there is going to be any kind of fruit which I am going to enjoy in the present, I don't want it. You may not want it, but what about those for whom you want it? But they are all standing here in front of me. Pranan styaktva dhananicha. Pranan styaktva, giving up their prana, giving up their desire for life. Prana asham tyaktva. Dhananicha, giving up the wealth. I have come here giving up the wealth means what? I have come here giving up all desire for all wealth and what wealth can get. Dhanasha. They are all standing here. And then if you say, no, don't have to kill all of them, only Dhritarashtra, because Duryodhana and people, they are the terrible fellows. Atatayin, they must kill. No, they may be Atatayin, felon. Those 6 things, if you have done together. If you have got that huge opportunity to do all of them together. Atatayin. But they should be, they may be Atatayin, but they are my relative. Never should you say like that as an administrator. Out of question. Your job is to punish them, especially you are a king. Allowing criminals to roam free in the nation because they are your relatives? Where did you learn all these things, Arjuna? Thank God Dronacharya did not listen. His respect for you would have gone fut on the spot. None of these arguments Sri Krishna is asking for by presenting a question to him. But every question Arjuna is implicating Sri Krishna to ask, presuming that such a question, if it arises, what should be the answer? Very intelligent. Delusion does not remove the semblance of intelligence. Delusion does not remove. You can see how he is presenting. And continuing his argument, he says, this swajanam, Arjuna, you are talking, imagining Arjuna, Krishna to be swajanam, and therefore I will not kill them. But are they thinking that you are their swajanam? Swajanam, family, relative. You are thinking that you will not fight because they are swajanam. But what about them? They should also think swajanam. Are they thinking like that? Standing there? Are they thinking? Duryodhana is thinking? Now, in case if that were the question, verses number 38 and 39.
Yadyapyetena pashyanti lobhopahata chetasaha kulakshayakritam dosham mitradrohe cha patakam katham nagneyamasmabhihi papadasman nivartitum kulakshayakritam dosham prapashyadbhirjanardana yadyapyetena pashyanti lobhopahata chetasaha kulakshayakritam dosham mitradrohe cha patakam katham nagneyamasmabhihi papadasman nivartitum kulakshayakritam dosham prapashyadbhirjanardana.
Yadyapyetena pashyanti. Yete, this Duryodhana and party. Yadyapyete, these people don't think that way. I am thinking this way. And I am thinking by this way because of your grace and blessings. But these people, are they thinking this way? Yadyapyete na pashyanti. Why? Lobha apahata chetasaha. Chetas means mind. Their minds have been engulfed in lobha, in greed. And if a mind is overpowered by an emotion and a thought, you can't think properly, Krishna. And therefore, they are not seeing this grave error. Mitra drohe patakam. Killing friends and relatives, in that the extreme sin which is there, they are not seeing. Katham chakneyam asmabhihi papadasmat nivartitum. But we who know for sure that this is a sin of enormous proportion, how are we to do such kind of things which they are engaging in because of ignorance and because of being overpowered by greed? We don't have greed. Because they are wrong does not mean we should do wrong. One wrong is not writ right by another wrong. The wise, they have to forgive. In delusion also we can think we are wise. Actually, in delusion only we think we are wise. Mitra drohe cha patakam kulakshaya kritam dosham. And war, what is it going to bring? He starts another wave of thought. One wave of thought, swajanam, relatives. Another wave of thought, actually first wave of thought was omens, viparitani, first wave of delusion. But that you can't say is a logical argument, therefore it's okay. The second wave of delusion is swajanam, an argument based on that. Third wave argument is, but they, what about they? They don't consider you swajanam. It doesn't matter. And the fourth wave is what? This wave of thought will go till the end. Kulakshaya kritam dosham. What is kulakshaya kritam dosham? He will himself explain. Kula means family. Kshaya means destruction, decay. Dosham, the defect. The defect or the fault or the problems that arise by destruction of family, which are inevitable due to war. We can see all these things. Kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyadbihir janardana katam asmabihi jnanyeyam. How is it that we can't see? We are able to see clearly. And how is it that we can't keep away from this kind of erroneous, mistaken, adharmic activities? All right. So the next wave of kulakshaya starts, destruction of families, which are inevitable in wars. And then he gives. Okay. A partially right argument also does not mean a right premise. Many people reading these verses which are coming now, which is actually the defects of war. For that you don't require Arjuna to teach. Everybody knows war, what happens. People die. People die means usually in war men go to war. Men folk die. Women suffer. Difficult to handle families. Few men, more women. Lot of society problems can happen because of that. Few men, more women. Because men have. Sometimes people go astray. The birth of children without true fathers. War creates all these situations. I am not going to fight. You see, you can give intelligent arguments not to do your duty. Let us read the verses. Verse number 40 to 44, but we'll go one by one.
Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmobhibhavatyuta.
Kulakshaye, because of war, families get destroyed. Families suffer. Kshaya, family decay. People die. When people die, there's no people there at home to take care of many things, and few people have to do many things, and many things left undone. Priorities change. Kulakshaye, kuladharmaha sanatanaha pranashyanti. Kuladharmaha, the various practices of families, good practices in families. Pranashyanti, they perish. So many practices are there in each of the families, starting from simple things like Gayatri Japa. Father is there, father gets a child, every day you do Gayatri Japa, he also does, the child also does. Teach us what to do, how to do, and in case you miss in the morning, what to do. A simple practice, part of the family tradition. Father is not there, what will this small fellow do? Who will get the Upanayana also? Upanayana, the traditional thread ceremony for him, so that who will take him to the Guru? Who is there to control this fellow? He is growing up, what will the lady do? How much can she control? A father's presence is required, disciplining hand is required, spare the rod, spoil the child. Who is there? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kula dharmaha sanatanaha. In every family, certain practices are coming from time immemorial. Dharme nashte. In this way, when kula dharma, because for lack of practitioners, cease to be there, kulam kritsnam, the entire family comes under the throes of adharma. The kulam kritsnam adharmaha abhibhavati. Uta also. Uta means also. Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam uta. Also the entire kula becomes overpowered by adharma. The family perishes. Family values get lost. Every person in a family holds a very important position. From the grandmother, the grandfather, the uncle, everybody contributes to the family. What will happen? And in this way, when adharma, wrong values start sprouting and getting nourished in the family because of lack of right people to handle the young children at home, the children go astray. Then what happens? Next verse.
Adharmabhibhavat Krishna.
Adharmabhibhavat Krishna.
Pradushyanti kulastriyaha. Strishu dushtasu varshneya.
Strishu dushtasu varshneya.
Jayate varna sankaraha. Adharmabhibhavat Krishna. Pradushyanti kulastriyaha. Strishu dushtasu varshneya. Jayate varna sankaraha.
Adharma abhibhavat. Adharma, unrighteousness. Abhibhava, because of its abhibhava, because of its vehemence. Because of the vehemence of adharma. Because of vehemence of adharma, because of wrong values. At home also. And outside also because of the changes which are brought about by war. War creates the greatest possible commotion in the society. Many things change because of war. Things are not available. People do so many things when things are not available. From black market onwards. Anything and everything goes astray because of war. internal ruin at home, outside, this is very close. Outside ruin means what? Outside also values. And then he hints at a very, you see, a very different kind of matter. What is that? He says men are less, women are more. Men are less, women are more. So, right matches are not made then. Right matches are not made then. What nowadays they speak of compatibility and all those things. No? They have compatibility test also they take on all those things. So many things they do. And the biological needs also forces ultimately animals, social animals, human beings into paths that take them astray. Dadharma bhibavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaha. Kulastriyaha means the ladies of the family, the children, the growing up girls also, or whatever, men are not there. Becomes difficult for them. They go astray. Women go astray does not mean men are good also. Society perishes. That's what he means. And strishu dushtarshu varshneya. And in this way, men and women, when they go by paths which they do not actually want to, or in normal circumstances, how they would be. Jayate varna sankaraha. What comes then? Varna sankaraha. Varna sankaraha, admixture of varna. Sankara means admixture. So admixture of varna. Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are the varnas. Admixture. What do you mean by admixture? Well, this topic of varna, we'll have to wait till we go to chapter 4. Because there the detailing is perfect. But now I will say only one sentence because this is not the occasion for me to bring a bigger topic when Sri Krishna himself is going to discuss in great detail. The 4th chapter it will come, also it will come in the 18th chapter also it will come. We will wait for those occasions. And the beauty of Krishna's presentation will go away if I steal the clap. But in one line let me tell you, what is Varna Sankara? Incompatible combinations are created. Incompatible combinations are created, which don't survive. Family is very difficult. Those who are married, all of them tell me, Swamiji, it is very difficult. Very difficult means what? To adjust. It is very difficult, they tell me. They tell me because? Why do they tell me? Because I don't have the experience, therefore they tell me. What else can I tell? Even with the right combinations. Even Jataka and all, they search for Puruttam. Na? There's a word. Puruttam. 8, 9, 10 out of 10. I asked that lady, what do you mean by 10 out of 10? Everything is matching. Even after all those matching, the dashing happens. Incompatible combinations for a momentary pleasure, leading rise to those pitiable children who neither can claim a father truly, nor have the benefit of a mother in the true sense of the term. This is called Varna Sankara. All right, all these things will happen. Anything wrong in what he said? Nothing. And this, what will lead to, He's telling Sri Krishna everything.
Sankaro narakayaiva
Sankaro narakayaiva
Kulagnanam kulasya cha
Kulagnanam kulasya cha
Patanti pitaro yesham Lupta pindodaka kriyaha Sankaro narakayaiva Kulagnanam kulasya cha Patanti pitaro yesham Lupta pindodaka kriyaha.
Kulasya sankaraha. In this way, when there is admixture of families for no fault of theirs, due to external exigencies that have been thrown upon them forcibly, for which they don't have any viable solutions, what happens? Kulasya, the family, going in wrong ways. Children growing up in extremely difficult conditions, without the possibilities of values being incorporated in their life by right imparting by the correct people, the entire family. Kulasya sankaraha kulagnanam. And those who bring about this kind of destruction of families, narakayaiva, they will all go to hell. Not only they, but even those forefathers who depend upon their children and grandchildren for performing those rituals which keep them happy in the other worlds. What is called a shraddha. Those forefathers, because there is no one who can do those things. Pitaraha, Hesham of all these people, Patanti, they all fall. They all fall from grace. They all fall from grace in their higher heavenly abodes. From there they fall to lower births. No more can they stay in their heavenly abodes because nobody is there to do shraddha. Traditional concept. Lupta pinda udaka kriya. Because they don't get the pinda which is offered. Pinda is that rice ball which is offered. Udaka, the water, part of the ritual, the shraddha ceremony, because they don't get, because nobody is there to do. There's no viable marriage and things like that for these families to coexist, whereby these things can go on well and right. And this leads to societal chaos. Next verse.
Doshairetaiḥ kulagnānām
Doshairetaiḥ kulagnānām
varnasankarakārakaiḥ
varnasankarakārakaiḥ
utsadyante jāti dharmāః kuladharmāsya śāstravistaraiḥ Doshairetaiḥ kulagnānām varnasankarakārakaiḥ utsadyante jāti dharmāః kuladharmāsya śāstravistaraiḥ.
Kulagnānām etaihi varnasankarakārakaihi doshaihi. Kulagnānām, of those who are the destroyers of families, by their activities, varna sankara karakaihi doshaihi, by those defects which cause all this kind of calamity in the society, what happens? Utsadyante, destroyed. What? Jati dharmaha, kula dharmaha, shashvataha. Jati dharmaha, kula dharmaha. Jati dharma refers to Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, that jati. Kula dharma refers to family. In every family there is a kind of a dharma also. Every family, very unique. There is a particular standardization as far as certain varna is, or jati varna is concerned. There's a particular thing, yes. But within that also, families, they have a very, very different kind of traditions. There are. The way in a Karnataka home, they make masala dosa is very different from the way they make masala dosa in a Tamilian home. And very different they make in a Kerala home, Andhra home. But even then, in your family, that masala dosa, which you learned to make from your mother, which she learned from her mother-in-law. She learned from her mother-in-law. Mother, Sanatana. That ingredient you know to put in the masala dosa, which is secret in your family. This can get lost. Why? Because of me shooting that arrow now here. Because of me shooting the arrow, you will not get masala dosa now. Argument. Jati dharmaha, kula dharmaha, śāstravistaraiḥ, all of them which are coming from time immemorial perish. Is this what we want to do? All right. And thus, next verse.
उत्सन्न कुलधर्माणाम्
Utsanna kula dharmana
मनुष्याणां जनार्दन
manushyanam janardana
नरके नियतं वासः
narake niyatam vasaha
भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुम
bhavatityanushruma utsanna kula dharmana
मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके अनियतं वासः भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुम
Utsanna kuladharmana manushyanam. Those beings who have not taken recourse to the right kind of values and duties which are in the family, narake niyatam vasaha. They will have to live only in hell. Niyatam vasa, forever they will have to be there. Iti anushushruма, we have heard from our elders. So who are all going to hell now? Let us put the list first. First of all, I. Because I am the cause for that arrow going there. Number one. Next, who will go to hell? Next, who will go to the hell? In the family. All the people. First of all, I have sent this fellow to hell. Then his wife will go to hell. Then children will go to hell. Okay? Who is left now? The other family also create problem from this family that are related, no? So that family, that man also will go to hell. Because probably if he had not already gone to hell in the war, he will go to hell now. And then his wife also will go to hell. And their children also will go to hell. Okay? And then what will happen? I have gone to hell. The man has gone to hell. The woman has gone to hell. The children have gone to hell. Other families also, everybody has gone to hell. And hell has become overcrowded. People in hell do not know where to go now. Probably we should go and do Master Gita, Master Life in hell now, because a lot of people are there. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam. Meaning, in other words, it is a very horrible thing to happen, this war. And therefore, Arjuna says, Ayyo, what did we plan out to do? Next verse.
Aho bata mahat papam
Aho bata mahat papam
kartum vyavasita vayam
kartum vyavasita vayam
yadrajya sukhalobhena
yadrajya sukalobena
hantum svajanamudhyataha
hantum swajanamudyataha
Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukhalobhena hantum svajanamudhyataha.
Aho, from this word only, ayoyo, aho. My God, bata is a kind of compassion. We say no, ayo. Mahat papam, a sin of such enormous proportion. Kartum vyavasita vayam. We have all collectively decided to do. Where is my brother? Yudhishthira. He is Yudhishthira. He is very firm in war. Where is he? We have all decided to. Why? Yadrajyas sukha lobhena. Because of greed for kingdom and joy which comes from that, we have all taken this decision to kill our own family members in front of us. Finally, back to Swajanam. You see, my family. All right. Okay, Arjuna. All right. ठीक है. You have almost, you say, your Gandiva has fallen down. In such a situation, what will happen is they will kill you. Correct? Even if you say, I am not going to fight and give up war, give up the weapon, now what can you do? You are here. War has started. You may run away from here like a coward. But I'm not sure you want to do that. Are you ready for being killed in the war without you fight? You don't want to fight. You don't want to fight. Now in this situation, what is going to happen is that you will be killed. Are you okay? I am okay. The strength of inner conviction coming out of sheer, precise analysis of right and wrong. And then he says, I have come to a decision. When your own delusion brings arguments to convince your own wrong thinking, you cannot help yourself but be convinced by your own arguments. And suppose somebody loves you and is under your control because of attachment to you, they too had it. Arjuna says, I am ready to die because I think that is more honorable. Next verse you see.
Yadi mama pratikaram
Yadi mama pratikaram
ashastram shastrapanayah
ashastram shastrapanayah
dhartarashtrarane hanyuhu
dhartarashtrarane hanyuhu
tanme kshemataram bhavet
tanme kshemataram bhavet
Yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyuhu tanme kshemataram bhavet.
If this is going to be this final case, I am ready for it. What? Yadi, if me, ashastram, I am not going to wage this war. I have given up my weapons. Ashastram. And therefore, apratikaram. Apratikaram, if somebody shoots an arrow at me, I will not be in a position to defend myself. Apratikaram. Who will, you who don't have a weapon in your hand, who will do that? Dhartarashtraha. They will definitely do. They will definitely do. Why? Śāstravistaraiḥ. They are not going to change their thinking because I have changed my opinions and I have reformed myself in these few minutes of looking at all of them. They are not going to change. Yes. Śāstravistaraiḥ, Dhartarashtraha, Duryodhana and all of them, Rane Hanyuhu. Even if they are going to kill me. Tanme kshemataram bhavet. That is far better. That is far better. Remember, Vishidan idam. He's all the while he is having his background music. And then what did he do? After sorrow comes delusion, and from delusion should come wrong action. Wrong action is what? Giving up one's duty and doing something else. Of course, because we can't be quiet without doing anything. Something we will do. What did Arjuna do? From that famous Arjuna who said, Senayor ubhayor madhye ratam sthapaya yavadetan niriksheham yoddukhaman avastitan kairmaya saha yoddhavyam asmin rana samudyame. That Arjuna now. That is what sorrow can do. Sorrow is the most terrible, destructive, weakening power the mind can ever face. Never be sorrowful. What happened to Arjuna? Next verse, last verse.
Sanjaya uvacha
Sanjaya uvacha
eva muktvarjuna sankhye
eva muktvarjuna sankhye
rathopastha upavishat
ratopasta upavishat
visrajya sasharam chapam
visrajya sasharam chapam
shoka samvigna manasah
shoka samvigna manasah.
Sanjaya uvacha eva muktvarjuna sankhye rathopasta upavishat visrajya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasah. Evam uktva. In this way, having made all his arguments vivid, uktva. And what did Sri Krishna do all the while? He did not say anything in between. He tells you how you must listen to somebody's sorrow. When somebody is sorrowful, don't tell them not to be sorrowful. When somebody is sorrowful, let them express their sorrow. That very expression has the power to wash itself. Batao. Allow them to quieten down. Eva muktva Arjuna Sankhye. Sankhye means in the midst of the battlefield. In the midst of the battle. In the battlefield. Where? In between the two armies. Rathopaste in his ratha, in his chariot. Upavishat. How long can he stand? Already he told long back, my Sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parishusyate vepatuscha. How long? Better you sit down. He sat down. Ratopaste upavishat. And what happened to his Gandiva? Visrujya. Visrujya, he just kept it. He just discarded it. Gave it up. And not only he gave up the bow, along with the arrows also. Why? In case he tells me to take the arrows. Visrujya, sasharam, along with the sharam, chapam, the bow and the arrow. Why? Shoka samvikna manasa, a mind utterly engulfed in sorrow. The mind afflicted by sorrow. He just sat down, utterly incompetent, incapable of any action, the greatest warrior of all times, incomparable in his valor, with no equal in his strength or goodness or capacity. But sorrow can make such a person also worthless. Sad. From the greatest intelligence to the highest incompetence, the bridge is sorrow. To travel there. That's what happened to him. The only person who must have been happy watching all these, Dhritarashtra. Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra. You know his question? Kurukshetra, what happened because it is Dharma Kshetra? Did any change in thinking happen to anybody? Very intelligent man. See? Who must have had the foresight? But foresight may not be right sight. Wait. What is going to happen? The second chapter is there. Gita, only first chapter got over. Arjuna will say some more. And then Sri Krishna guides Arjuna rightly when Arjuna asks for help. We'll be seeing that in the second chapter. All right. Every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita has got a colophon. What do you call colophon in Sanskrit? Pushpika. Pushpika. Okay. Has got a colophon, a pushpika. Okay. Now let us read that. Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gītāsu.
Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gītāsu.
Upanishadsu.
Upanishads.
Brahma Vidyayam.
Brahma Vidyayam.
Yoga Shastre.
Yoga Shastre.
Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade.
Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade.
Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama.
Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama.
Prathamodhyayah.
Prathamodhyayah.
Together.
Om Tat Sat. Iti
Srimad Bhagavad Gītāsu.
Upanishadsu. Brahma Vidyayam. Yoga Shastre. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama. Prathamodhyayah.
Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. These three words are the names of the Supreme, and they are uttered to give completion, even if there could be any unknown, unwanted incompletion. It is to give completion to our knowledge. Om Tat Sat. This will come in chapter. Which chapter? Chapter 17. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. It will come. We will wait, it will come. What these words mean. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gītāsu. Thus in the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishadsu, which is nothing but the Upanishads. Sarvopanishado gavo, dogdha gopa, all the Upanishads are cows. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna is the cowherd. Partha is the Vatsa. And we are all those who relish. The Bhagavad Gita, being summary of all the Upanishads, is called the Upanishad. The highest Vedantic thought are present in the Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita is that. The crust jewel of the Vedas is the Upanishad. And the Bhagavad Gita is the crust jewel of the crust jewel. It's the nectar of the nectar. It's the Amrita of the Amrita. Advaitamrita Varshini. And what is given here? Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? The knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman. The Parama Purushartha that we all want. Brahma Prapti. Also called Moksha. That is here. Brahma Vidya. But it is not just giving the Vidya and allowing you to go here and there, hither and thither, asking for how to attain this Vidya. No. Yoga Shastra. It is also a Yoga Shastra. Shastra, that which gives you crystal clear, pertinent instructions. Shasti. Shasanat. It protects you by giving instructions. Yoga Shastra. It gives you also the instructions for yoga. It gives you the instruction for yoga. The word yoga comes from the word yuj, which means to unite. Not just to know, but how to actually unite with that ultimate reality, Yoga Shastra. And what is the beauty about it? Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. And this whole instruction is presented to you in the form of a samvada between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Sri Krishna the Lord and Arjuna the you. So it's a dialogue you are having with God. Where you are free to ask questions. And the Lord happily answers. Nowhere in the entire Bhagavad Gita it is said, thou shalt not ask questions. Ask any number of questions. It is samvada. It's a discussion. Discussion is when there is love and respect. Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. In this Bhagavad Gita, which is Upanishad, wherein Brahma Vidya is taught, wherein what are the methods to attain that reality also is prescribed. In this discussion of Arjuna, of Sri Krishna and Arjuna, this is the first chapter, Pratamaha Adhyayaha, titled Nama Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna, you. Vishada, sorrow, your sorrow. Yoga means to unite. Sorrow becomes the means to unite to Lord. When we know how to use sorrow as a means to get the Lord's compassionate glance on us. Sorrow is not bad. Sorrow becomes the means for Arjuna to attain the Lord himself. Why? Because he used to sorrow. He used to sorrow. He did not allow sorrow to just be sorrow. He wanted to find a solution to sorrow. When you want to find a solution to sorrow, sorrow becomes the panacea for your liberation. It's a question of how you use your emotion. Lord, I am sorrowful. Can you do anything for me? Sorrow has connected you with God. Cry, no harm, but cry in front of God. Arjuna did that. Alright? So thus Arjuna's Vishada. Vishada is another name for Dukkha, is another name for Shoka, is a Sanskrit term for sorrow. Alright? So sorrow is good? Yeah. It depends. Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Pratamodhyayaha. Alright? So with this we complete chapter 1 by Bhagavan Shri Krishna's grace and blessing. Every chapter at the end we will have Gītā aarthi. Every chapter. No? So first chapter we have completed. Gītā aarthi, whoever is doing, please come.
ॐ जय भगवद् गीते मय्या जय भगवद् गीते हरिः कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद् गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि कामासक्ति हरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकाशिनि विद्या ब्रह्मपरा ॐ जय भगवद् गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनि निर्मल मलहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनि सब विधि सुखकारी ॐ जय भगवद् गीते राग द्वेष विदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भव भयहारिणि तारिणि परमानंद प्रदा ॐ जय भगवद् गीते आसुर भाव विनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद् गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद् गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय। हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर लीजय। ओम जय भगवद गीते, ओम जय भगवद गीते, ओम जय भगवद गीते। बोलिए श्री गीता मैया की। सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम गोविंदा। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।